What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I got some news for you just to clear things up. I got to counterpunch something today. Um, Ever since Vasili Lomachencko fought Lenatus in Madison Square Garden, and it was a good fight. I've seen through a lot of feeds and different boxing groups and things like that. A lot of people have been criticizing Vasili Lomachencko for getting dropped. They compared him to, Floyd. They compared him to Roman Gonzalez. And they compared him to Floyd. First of all, they were like, hey, Floyd never been dropped. I'll get back to that. They also compared him to Roman Gonzalez. When Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez was moving up, and he got stopped by Arangdangsai, right? And the thing is, and so everyone was like, well, he shouldn't have moved up in the weight classes. First of all, guys, check it out. Any guy that moves up in weight to challenge himself, you got to give him full credit. That's just a given. And you have to understand something about Lomachencko. Yes, he's human. A lot of people, they boast him up. They brag about him a lot. You know what I mean? And they promote him because they like him. They like what he does in the ring. He throws a lot of volume and punches. He gives great pivots, different angles. He's always thinking in there. So yeah, he's easy to be a lot of people's favorite fighter. You know what I'm saying? But then of course, you're gonna have haters and people that criticize this guy, because he got dropped in the fight. Now, this is what this video is about. Yes, he was dropped in there with Lenatus. Lenatus caught him with a perfect right hand because Lomachencko got a little careless. He did. He's done it before. It hasn't been the first time. The only difference is, yes, he's moving up in weight. I've said it earlier, how long can he do that for moving up weight? But the point is, you're trying to criticize the guy or discredit him because he got caught with a punch. That could be anybody. You know what I mean? And people compare him to Floyd. Wait, look. Floyd went down too. Floyd was dropped in the Zab Judah fight. If you don't believe me, look it up. If you've been watching boxing long as I have, you see that was a referee's error and not necessarily a fighter's error. Floyd went down. Because he does Floyd has a classic jab to the stomach. He'll take a perfect straight jab, a body jab to the solar plexus. And he tried that against the southpaw, which was Zab Judah. And Zab Judah countered with a right hook. That took Floyd to the ground. Referee Richard Steele, one of the most criticized referees in probably the history of boxing, ruled it a no knockdown. And of course he would do that, especially if he was speculating to be bought or a fixed referee, because he's always done some shady decisions in the past. You know what I mean? So, but that was due to bad refereeing. Okay, it's not due to the fact that Floyd has never been down to the canvas. That was his first knockdown. It just wasn't official because the referee called it wrong. Okay, because after that round was over, they clearly see he hit the ground, his knee hit the canvas, along with his glove that hit the canvas. Okay, so if you want to talk about Lomachencko going down on the seat of his ass, you got to talk about Floyd taking that drop to the knee due to that right hook by Zab Judah. So yes, that's a good comparison. You know what I mean? And another thing, a lot of people comparing you to Chocolatito got knocked out. He got stopped. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he got dropped by a body shot, but he got knocked out on the second fight. Lomachencko got up on the third count. It was a flash knockdown. Okay, so let's just not call it what it is. He was hurt. He was surprised from that shot too. Not saying it wasn't a hard punch, because it was a hard punch, but any punch is hard when you don't see the punch coming, and he didn't. You know what I mean? He got hit. He was surprised himself, like shit. It was just like when Adrian Broner fought Sean Porter, and Adrian Broner caught him with a left hook and sent him on his ass. Mikey Garcia, same thing. You know what I mean? And Mikey Garcia got put down by a guy that didn't even supposed to knock him down. That's why he was so surprised. It happens to everybody. So before you guys keep, with the memes up and the criticizing this guy, You got to remember that happens to everybody. You know, even the greats. The greats fall down it, but it's what they do when they get back up, and they don't necessarily have to lose a fight to do that. You know, another conversation I've had with a guy, you know, on a boxing group on Facebook. You know, he was complaining about the volumes of the numbers, the amount of guys that Lomachencko has fought. He hasn't fought enough guys. So my question instinctively was, hey, well, is it the amount of guys just in general? I mean, do they have to be tomato cans, or do they just have to be someone worth anything? Because the guys that he's fought has been champions and they've meant something. You know, Gary Russell Jr., Guillermo Rigondeaux, Nicholas Walters, you know, Jason Sosa. You know, these particular guys were higher in the ranks, or not. Or if they weren't high in the ranks, they were champions. Orlando Salido had the title. Yes, he was a champion. You know what I mean? And I thought he won that fight. You know, Orlando Salido had tricks, and he was a veteran. He used tricks, and he was going for the balls. So yeah, I mean, that particular loss can be debated, and it was in Orlando Salido's one of his comfortable territories, which was Texas, and the referee turned a blind eye to all these damn ball punches. These nut punches, you know what I mean? Below the belt. So, yeah, I mean, you could debate that, and I am debating that. I'm counterpunching that. You know, he should have really a 12-0 record, honestly. You know, so, no, well, a 13-0 record with 10 knockouts. You know what I mean? That's how it should be, because he caught Salido in the last round and almost had him out of there if he had a little bit more time left. And Salido didn't want to rematch him because he wanted to hang on to the legacy, just like Juan Manuel Marquez didn't want to fight Pacquiao for the fifth time. Which, you know, that's understandable because they fought 4 times. But still, you know, he wanted to hold on to that particular moment and that feeling that he got, that gratification that he got for beating Pacquiao. Just like Orlando Salido wanted that same gratification for beating Lomachencko. Okay, so it is not the fact that Lomachencko has not been beat. He was beating the amateurs by a guy. You know what I mean? I can't pronounce his name. I forget it anyways. But you know, he beat him twice already in other rematches. You know, so he can be beat, but it's the desire to do what you need to do when you lose, when you get back up. What do you do then? And what did he do when he got back up in the 3rd round? He stopped Linares. And a lot of people, you know, including Linares, he says, hey, the referee stopped it. No, dude, the way he got up from that canvas, he did not get up like he wanted to continue that fight. You know, and I like Linares. He called Lomachencko with some good punches. I would love to see a rematch. You know what I'm saying? Now, that would be something that's on the table. That would be debatable, right? But, you know, all bullshit aside, you know, he didn't want to get up in that 10th round. He did not want to get up from that liver punch. That liver shot that he took, you could tell he had some discouragement in his face. He did not spring up because he knew and he heard the time. Everyone, if you speak English, if you speak Spanish, you know what 1 through 10 is. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the easiest things you can decipher what a referee is saying, right? So he did not want to look. He did not look like he wanted to continue. So yeah, you know, these guys, you know, you give Lomachencko flack about this, man, but let's counterpunch this and let's be fair about everything. If you look at it across the board, you know, people that has been down, and you know, and it's only seldom people that haven't been down. But Floyd's not one of them. So a lot of people talk about Floyd, you know, and he's never been down to the canvas. Yeah, he's a great fighter, you know what I mean? But I think that Lomachencko is doing something that Floyd in late did not ever do, is challenge himself. He didn't ever challenge himself. He went for the money instead of the fame. You know, that was his decision. You got to respect it. But at the end of the day, you can't say he fought everyone that was there. You know what I mean? When he was in his younger career, yes, he did. But older, no, he didn't. You know? So, but that's getting into a totally different video. This is focusing on Lomachencko. Lomachencko is continuing to challenge himself, and that's what he's supposed to do because he believes he's the best. You know what I mean? And I'm still with pound for pound. You know, whichever Lomachencko fights last, he will be number 1 now until Terrence Crawford beats Jeff Horn. You know what I mean? It's just to be fair because these guys are neck and neck in talent and legacy. You know, I would give Terrence Crawford a slight edge, and because he was the undisputed light welterweight champion of the world. But Lomachencko, yes, he is one of the pound for pound best, and he's proved that, and he's proved that he's great. You know what I mean? And how you prove that you're great, keep fighting the guys that people say you can't fight. So if he fights and beats Mikey Garcia, that brings him another notch to stay at the top. And that's what you're supposed to do. But anyway, guys, you guys tell me what you think about this Lomachencko controversy, with criticism. And of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.